Transport Minister Barbara Creecy has announced that Prof John Lamola has been appointed the new Group CEO of state-owned airline South African Airways. Lamola's appointment was approved by Cabinet on Wednesday. He had been acting as the GCEO for the airline. Creecy highlighted that under Lamola as acting GCEO, SAA had 3 years of outstanding audits and had made a profit during the 2023 financial year. She further said under him, the carrier had also expanded from flying just domestic routes to again flying regional and international ones. Joining us for reaction on the appointment of Prof John Lamola as permanent GCEO of SAA is aviation analyst Phuthego Mojapele. Good evening, Phuthego. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. I'm sure you've seen, though, the media space is already littered with mixed reaction to the announcement of the appointment of Prof Lamola. Your views on his appointment?
Good evening, Namfundo. Look, Prof Lamola is the right candidate for this job. I think he has demonstrated in the past that he's got all what it takes to reposition our airline to be a force to be reckoned with. We know for a fact that the gentleman has been with the airline from when it did not have anything. I mean, we know that he's been working tirelessly to reposition South African Airways from 4 aircrafts to 20 that we have currently with 2 international routes that we have in Sao Paulo and Perth. And we are also present in the most of the African and maybe particularly West African communities. We are very much present there. So, and I think that he needs to be afforded an opportunity to continue with what he has already started when the airline did not have anything. And this is a person who has, for the very first time after so many years, SAA has not produced any positive results, financial results. And we are today able to proudly say that we have, as a country, be able to say South African Airways is heading to the right direction under the leadership of Professor Lamola. And I think I'm not, praising him for what he hasn't done, but the evidence is there. Everybody knows exactly how he has managed to spearhead the ship to the right direction. And I'm quite confident if we continue.
And these, of course, are also the sentiments of Minister Creecy, just in that text stating that he's had 3 years of outstanding audits. They have recorded a profit in 2023, and you speak of those routes that have been resuscitated. But the Democratic Alliance had urged Cabinet not to appoint him, saying for them he had ranked the lowest in a competency assessment, and that it seems the party beyond this point now has indicated that they'll be reporting the matter to the Public Protector. Your take on just that statement around him ranking the lowest in that competency test?
I'm not sure on what basis are they referring this to. Number one is that if they're talking about the 2 candidates that I saw, they were flouting them on the social media in the form of the current CEO of Kenya Airways. I mean, Kenya Airways is at the moment, he's leading it and it's going down. I mean, this is one of our own. And we know in the past that we had some CEOs that came in our country, and SAA is where it is because some of those foreign CEOs that we have. So here we've got a South African gentleman who is not just an ordinary gentleman. He's a professor. He's well educated, well learned, and he's continued to listen to those that are within the industry to be able to lead the SAA as a brand. And I'm not sure whether what sort of position does the Democratic Alliance has in terms of the evidence that the decision was influenced politically. I mean, they're playing that space. I'm not in that, but I'm looking at what he has produced to South Africans to this stage. Possibly he's the right man for the job.
You've touched on the CEO of Kenyan Airways. It seems he was supported by some to actually take over as GCEO, but others felt there would be complexities around appointing a non-citizen in such a post where it might be difficult or take long to get security clearance. We've seen it in numerous other state-owned entities where there was a bit of a challenge. Your take on just the debate around possibly there being clearance issues?
Yeah, like I said, in the past we had CEOs that were not South African leading South African Airways before. Now we want to go back. And we know obtaining security clearance in South Africa is not something that will happen tomorrow. Now, here is the gentleman who has been doing the job. Now you want us to take us back, and we must wait for months and months before we can obtain that clearance. I'm not in favor of appointing a foreign national in our key institutions that really need South Africans to be driven. I mean, he is already a CEO in his own country, and I don't think that we should be worried about, getting other people that have failed in their own airlines. I mean, he has failed in his own airline there. Why is Kenya Airways is not doing what Ethiopian Airline is doing? So I'm not buying anything of that. I think Prof Lamola is the possible candidate, and we should rally around him, give him the necessary support that he needs to run the airline. We need to immediately, he needs to immediately hit the ground running, get the routes, international routes like New York, London, as well as Frankfurt. We need to see South African Airways fly into those destinations.
All right. Phuthego, thank you very much for your insights this evening. That's aviation analyst Phuthego Mojapele speaking to us.